who has independent thinking. We don't agree necessarily on certain things, but I can trust Dan to just not toe the company line or the government line, whatever the issue may be. I do appreciate that from him.
But that's why I like to open up phone lines, because guys like Dan from Oregon, this man thinks outside of the fucking box. I'm going to give him a little plug over here. Dan from Oregon over here. Go follow him on Twitter. Dan from Oregon. He has some interesting things. He puts a lot of effort and time into his thoughts. I think he smoked a lot of ganja when he thought about this.
What's up, sickos? This is our Bellator 193 preview. This is My2Cents. You're with Dan from Oregon. All right, it's Friday night. We know we ain't got much going on, so why not get excited for Bellator 193? And as we look right over here, we got Lorenz Larkin headlining this fight versus Fernando Gonzalez. And Gonzalez is pretty darn good fighter, man. I actually thought he fought really well against Michael Venom Page. Page won a split decision over him, and I actually thought Fernando won that fight. He's your consummate kind of overachiever in terms of that. But when we talk about Lorenz Larkin, you're talking about a guy who went 4-1 in the UFC welterweight division before he got his release and got signed with Bellator. And since then, he's lost 2 in a row. He lost to Lima and then most recently to Daly, I believe. But that should be a great scrap in terms of the welterweight division. We all know UFC's welterweight division ain't doing shit right now. Bellator's division is neck and neck with it. Rory McDonald has a win over Tyron Woodley. He did lose to Lawler and Thompson, but it made math, you know. I'm glad Bellator is actually making some strides there. But moving on, Sadawad versus JJ Ambrose. Ambrose went 1-2 in Bellator, went over to the Australian New Zealand scene, and he is now back. These are some 2 journeymen going to go in there and bang. Ambrose has got some pretty good wins. What do we got? 5-fight win streak is what he's coming off of out of Australia, back into Bellator with that. Real quick, I got to touch back. Larkin, this guy. He has wins over Magny, who most recently just beat Carlos Condit, Jorge Masvidal, and Ponzinibbio as well. So even though those guys are on the high rise in the welterweight division, you know, Bellator's got some good guys over there. Kendall Grove. I was listening to MMA Junkie earlier, and Kendall Grove spoke to John Morgan on their preview show. MMA Junkie, go check it out. And apparently he went on about during his last fight, his dad had passed away. He got him cremated and was carrying him on his neck. And he makes the walk into the cage. He takes off his necklace, and as he looks at it, he's only looking at the top of it. And so the whole cylinder and all the ashes are just gone. Got scattered all over his walkout on his last fight. I heard that hearsay from Dan Tom. Still got to go check out that story. Well, definitely that sounds like it's super interesting versus AJ Matthews. These next 2 guys, I'll be honest, I don't know much about them. This Jake Smith guy's out of Pacific Northwest, so maybe I should do my research on him. Now, Tyrell Fortune. I've heard this name before. I don't know who this guy is. He's got a singlet on. I imagine he's real big into wrestling. He's 3-0 in the heavyweight division. Maybe I should look at this guy's age. Anyhow, there are no good heavyweights to look forward to. Up-and-comers, people you don't know. I don't know this guy, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see an influx of some people into the heavyweight division. And this next fight, don't really know these guys, but this last one I wanted to show you guys, Everett Cummings. This guy's a 13-0 heavyweight versus Ben Beebe, 7-4. Looks like they're setting him up to get a good win. 13-0 at heavyweight. This guy could be a guy we see very soon. We got the heavyweight Grand Prix going on right now in Bellator. I'm not saying he's going to be a fill-in, or I can't even think of the word right now. But definitely got something to look forward to with that division. Chet Congo's in that division. Sergey Kartanov is in that division in Bellator. And so, I mean, Bellator's got welterweight. That's kind of neck and neck with the UFC. Heavyweight, always right up there. If they can get Vitaly Minakov to come back from, I believe he's at Fight Nights Global, 21-0 at heavyweight. Their division could really be stacked right up and up with the UFC. I personally believe Stipe is the best heavyweight. No argument, hands down, in that regard. But that's Bellator 193. Starting off on the Bellator.spike.com/live is where you're going to find those prelims. And then transferring over to the new Paramount network. Spike, Paramount, we really got to figure out this West Coast time delay. Because either you got DirecTV and you can watch it, or you're going to be like me and you're streaming that shit. You got to figure out that time delay. All right, back to you, sickos.